Hello and welcome everybody to this Concise webinar. This one is on how to improve your ROI on Google Ads. Welcome everybody and thank you for coming. Our Concise webinars are 100% educational, no waffle, no sales pitches, and useful stuff you can use. I'd also like to welcome my fellow presenter. My name's Richard Keeves, by the way. My fellow presenter, Gareth Lane.
Hello. Is that concise enough for you?
That's very concise. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's rip into this now. How to improve the ROI. So ROI is all about getting some multiple of what you spend back on the investment. Like we all know that. A lot of people spend money on Google Ads and don't necessarily get the ROI that they want. So the focus today is on the top 5 areas that we think are important to work on. The first one of those is improving your targeting. Make sure that the Google Ads are targeting the right products within your business, are targeting the right searches for people who are searching for you, and targeting the right locations using demographics and location targeting can really fine tune things to make sure that you are aiming at the right people, aiming your ads at the right people. With about the top products, one of the things people come to us often is, okay, they want to advertise. And so the first, like with Google Ads, we say, well, okay, what are people searching on? And what are the best selling product categories or products that you can sell in your business? And so we say, rather than trying to target too much to start with, target the best sellers, make sure that you're doing this in a positive ROI way, and then scale that. Garrett's going to show you a few things a little later on about the demographics, and we've got other sessions planned about negative keywords that are really important. Negative keywords are words that you can add in so that if a search is used in those or using those words, then your ad doesn't get displayed for searches that use a negative keyword. And it's a really good way of saving money and saving exposure to ads that people are never going to buy. And of course, locations. If you can only service particular locations, then only advertise into those locations. You'll be amazed when we look at new clients and work with them and say, okay, what have you been doing? And we find that they only sell into Australia, but their ads have been running outside of Australia, or they only sell into Sydney and their ads have been running outside of Sydney. So there's lots of targeting that Google allows you to use, not only targeting locations, but also on devices. You can aim ads to only be visible through mobiles or only visible through desktop. Gareth, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just quickly doing a Google. Google's revenue for 2022 was 224 billion US dollars. So all of that money has come from all of the small businesses and some larger businesses around the world. So just remember, Google works for Google, and a lot of the things and the controls that allow you to save money are not in Google's interests. So they kind of do a really good job of either not telling you about them or hiding them in some obscure way. So don't always just read what you see on the tin. And my experience is that Google will call you and try and say, oh, you've got to add these keywords and you've got to add these ads. And I've never heard any of them ever call up and say, hey, did you improve your landing page, or here's this thing called negative keywords, you should really start using it, because that's not in Google's interest. So just remember, you're playing a game with a American monster, and it's really important to educate yourself and try and make sure you know how to control it to deliver the best return on investment. And targeting is one of those things that you can target right down to postcodes or suburbs or states. If you're an electrician and you're a one-man band in a suburb called Mosman, then there's no need for you to probably advertise anywhere outside of Mosman, because why would you want to drive halfway across Sydney if you can just stay in your single suburb? So little things like that. Just really think about your intended customer and their target location, and then set your ads up to only that location until you run out of work, and then you need to add another suburb. There's absolutely no point going into Google Ads and saying you're electrician Australia wide if you can't service the work. So
Okay.
just keep that in mind.
Okay. That's good, Gareth. Thank you. So let's moving on to the next point. The next key thing to understand is the concept called your quality score. Now, Gareth just mentioned about how Google is this monster that tries to take money out of you, and yes, it is. But one of the things Google does do is it wants to run good ads and it wants to deliver good search results and run good ads within the search results. And so Google has developed this thing called the quality score, which is associated with each ad that you are running, and that also your competitors are running. And what Google wants, as you can see on the screen there, is there are three factors that affect the quality score: the click-through rate on the ad, the relevance of the ad, and the landing page experience. And Google measures all of this very quickly and determines what the quality score of that ad is. And if your ad has a higher quality score than your competitors, you will actually get to pay less for running that ad, and you'll get a better position when you run that ad. So the better your quality score, the better your conversions, the lower your price that you'll be paying, and the better position that your ad will be in. Now, what we've observed is that some people, like we're a digital agency, and we work with clients to help people understand and use this stuff. We work. Some clients come to us and they've had experiences with other agencies, and not all agencies focus on quality scores. In fact, there is one very big mob that hide it and don't even reveal it and don't talk about it. Why is that? Because they charge a fixed monthly fee, irrespective of whether the ads are shown or not. And if an ad isn't shown, then they actually make more money because they have a fixed monthly fee. It's outrageous. But the point about quality score is if you can see the quality scores and you can improve the quality scores, then you can get far better bang for your buck. And given that this session is all about ROI, this is how you can improve the value that you're getting by paying less and getting more. And Google actually calculates the quality score for you and shows you. The thing is, it's actually hidden within the Google Ad admin. You have to add the column in so that you can then see the quality score. Gareth's going to show you some of that in just a minute when we flip over to his browser. The next area we think is really important is what we call the conversion actions. And these are the conversions that are happening on the site. So how are these being measured? What are your goals? And are you tracking these things correctly? Really important. And following in from that is to make sure that your goals are aligned with your calls to action. So in other words, the calls to action are the buttons and forms and phone numbers and the various things that are on each of the web pages to inspire somebody, encourage a user to click on that and then take the action that you want them to take. And so you can measure these as conversions. So part of the game is knowing what the conversions need to be, making sure that they're able to be tracked correctly, but also to make sure that all the calls to action on your website are aligned with those conversion goals. Gareth, do you want to add to that? Gareth?
Yeah, so conversion actions is also very useful for the Google Ad Manager to work out what the user is doing once it lands on your web page. So the more information you feed back to the bot about what you want it to do and what you want to achieve out of it, the better the search engine algorithms can work out where to put your ad in front of the right people. And this is particularly useful for e-commerce businesses that have sales and use the Performance Max Google Shopping campaigns, because a lot of the ways that you can manage a Google Ad campaign automatically work itself out. So if you use a bidding strategy called ROAS, which is return on ad spend, then the Googlebot needs to know how many sales and how many conversions you got for the ad in order for it to then do its calculation and then show more ads. So if you haven't set your conversions up properly, then you're kind of doing yourself a disservice in that you're not helping the bot do its job. So I'll show you very quickly in a second. Or is that my time now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So screen share, open browser, window. Just make sure I got the right one. Just do me a quick size check.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So this is a Google Ads window manager. If you haven't got one of these and you're running a Google Ads campaign, then you can ask your peoples if you can please have access to it. I'm in the tools and settings, and then the one that says conversions under measurement. This is the Concise Digital account. I can't really show any clients, so I've just shown you ours. We run our own Google Ads, obviously. And the way we've set up our conversions is in different sections. So we've got a form, we've got phone calls, and we've tracked the calls. So people click on the calls, we can see what campaign they're coming from. Our contact page has a couple of different email links. It's got a couple of different phone numbers for different states. We've got Facebook Messenger chat for our live chat, so we're tracking conversions there. We've got an office, so we've got a Google Maps directions. We've got some other things that we've tagged as engagement. So if they click a particular video or a particular button, we want to see if they're doing that. So it doesn't have to be as simple as send me an email or send us a phone number or whatnot. Or click a phone number. It can be lots of other things. So if you look at your landing pages and you go through them, you can get your web developers to tag certain things that you think are actions that you'd like to track. So that's conversions. I'll just show you quickly about the quality scores. So inside the Google Ad Manager under keywords and then search keywords, you will see a whole long list of the keywords that you have specified. I won't go into too much detail in this webinar, but the quality score column here is hidden by default. How you get to it is you click on the columns tab, you hit modify columns, and then it's usually easy to just to find it under the search, and you type in quality. And Google used to do this dodgy thing where they used to call it qual dot score like that, so they didn't make it obvious, but they've now probably bowed to criticism, and they've now labeled it as quality score. Quality score has been the fundamental concept of Google Ads since it started, but if you understand how this works and you can manipulate it in your favor, then you're effectively paying less for your ads.
Gareth, can you go back to the quality score thing there? If you can see in the column there, quality score column, take your cursor off, please. See how the quality score is out of 10. Okay, so these pages or these ads that we're running here, these have a quality score of 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Any quality score that is 3 out of 10 or less, the ad will not get shown. So if you're trying to run ads and your quality score is 3 out of 10 or less, then Google just won't show your ads. And so this is really important to get your head around.
Absolutely. And so the 10 out of 10 is as good as it gets. Anything under 3, you start wondering whether or not your ads will show. And if you get sort of 1s and 10s, generally your ads won't show. So if you're Googling yourself trying to work out why you're not ranking or you're not seeing your ad, then always go and check your quality score.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to just draw everyone's attention to is the way you can set up campaigns to be location targeted. So these are our things that we target, and we have a very select number of things that we want to run ads on. We're not interested in some suburbs or some states because we can't service the clients in those areas, or we know that we have a better shot at winning work in WA, for example. So we set up ads to promote certain things in certain states. So you don't have to do, just because you do a service doesn't mean you have to be Australia wide. You can prioritize and say, well, I want to put budget into New South Wales and for this service, and I want to sell this product in this country or this product in this location, and that allows you to manipulate your spend and track conversions in different areas. So for example, in New South Wales, we're targeting web design for law firms, and we know that we've spent $600 and we've had 10 inquiries from it. We can then mirror that up on our sales end and say, well, we've had good inquiries, and those inquiries have turned into good jobs for us. So we'll happily keep spending that money. We may look at, say, for example, law web design in Victoria, and we've spent $230, but we've only had one conversion. So given New South Wales has had 10 for 600, that's only $60 per inquiry, whereas in Victoria it's $230 for one inquiry. So we can now say, well, we don't want to do Victoria anymore, and we'll put the money into New South Wales. If we hadn't set up the location targeting for that, we wouldn't be able to compare those two campaigns. So that's
Okay.
really one of the very powerful things that you can do with location targeting.
This webinar could run for 2 hours, but
Indeed.
but it's not going to. So let's get into the next part is here that Google ads do not run in isolation. They do. Hang on.
Sorry, I'm just ending my screen sharing. Back to you.
Okay. Google ads do not run in isolation. They have to take the user, the visitor, somewhere, and that somewhere is called the landing page. So one of the worst things you can do is run a Google ad and just take people to your home page and think that that's the landing page and have that as the landing page, because that just confuses people. Unless it's a general ad for your business, in which case maybe that's okay. But if there's a specific ad for a specific thing that you're promoting, then have a specific landing page for that ad. The website UX is user experience, and it's all about making sure that the user experience is as good as it possibly can be, so that people stay, they click through, and they don't exit. The landing page has got to be relevant to what the ad was. It's got to have information. It's got to be engaging. And ideally, it's got to add the proof that you know what you're talking about and that people then can trust. It's all about trust, and people can trust what you're doing. And then most people who come to your website, even through an ad, probably will not buy then and there, or may not inquire then and there. So what are you doing as a collection process to capture the information, or to encourage the users to add their information, and then you can follow them up? Gareth, do you want to show a landing page that we talked about?
I will indeed. Okay, so you may have seen in our Google ad campaign that we target web design for schools. And so we don't want to, schools are not interested in e-commerce or any other type of business. They just want to see schools. So we send them to a landing page which only talks about schools. So we've got some examples of some school websites that we've done. We've got some blurb. We've got some features that are for web design for schools, and these are the things that they want. And then we've got some discussion on budgets and pricing, some local contacts. They want to know who they're dealing with, and then some more details. And then there should be an action button down here somewhere. Always some more examples. And then these things that say start your new website, they're what we've tagged as a conversion action, so that we know that when someone clicks on that is connected back to the Google ad campaign. So if you are going to run a Google ad campaign for a specific product in a specific location, then you really want to make sure the landing page that those people are landing on is the talking to those points and is super relevant. And that's how you'll get a really good quality score, which should save you maximum amount of money and get the highest return on investment for your campaign.
Excellent point. Let's push on now. So the final point is to make sure, in terms of improving your ROI, is to reduce unnecessary spend that doesn't need to be done. So it's about making sure that you're getting the best management fee service, that you're not paying more than you need to, that you're getting looked after well, and that you're not adding additional fees onto any Google charges. With how we work it at Concise is that our clients have their own, pay Google directly. They have their own account and they pay Google directly. Some other agencies some other agencies do the Google billing through them, and they add a margin on to those charges. And so that can often have additional, you pay additional cost for no value at all. And the other point there about making sure that you are not getting locked into long-term contracts. It's something to watch, because if you need to make changes and have flexibility, then you need to be able to do that. Gareth, do you want to add anything into that one?
Yeah, just particularly with the point about the paying Google directly. No agency receives any commissions or affiliate partner discounts from Google. So even if we manage it on your behalf, we don't get a thank you or a kickback or anything from Google. And if the game is really about improving return on investment, then that's about lowering cost. And so agencies that charge a a commission on the spend, it's not really in their interest to save you money. So I've always been a fan of the pay for service, pay for hours kind of model, because it's a bit more transparent. But I guess what we're trying to say is, if you're going to choose someone to manage this for you, always try and look at the total overall cost of the ads plus the management fee plus any web dev, and then look at how much your return is, rather than just looking at the conversion value in Google Ads, because that doesn't take into account costs of management and time and consultants and all those sorts of things.
Yeah. One other thing that we've noticed this year is that some clients are wanting to get involved in their Google ad management, where previously they've allowed us to do it or wanted us to do it. I guess partly that's because they're trying to save money, partly because they've got maybe more time. I'm not sure. And so we're happy for clients to get involved running their own Google ads, and that it can get very technical. And so what is an interesting thing to be done is where we both work on things together, where the client gets involved and looks after, for example, adding in negative keywords so they can fine tune. They can do some of that work, and we can do more of the technical stuff that can get confusing if you don't do it all the time. So it is possible to reduce some of your costs and still get professional help with your ad management by working together with an agency that's happy to work that way, which we are. This is not a sales pitch, that's just fact. Then we have had a question about Performance Max ads, and thanks, Derek, for this. Is it really just a one click, and does AI do it all? And therefore no control, no way to influence, so Google ends up running your campaigns. Gareth, like Performance Max, for those who are not sure, is a kind of an automated thing that Google introduced back in November 21 to replace some of the ads that were possible, and to add in sort of a machine learning experience so that people can have ads running across all of the Google channels, YouTube and search and display, etc. And then Google tries to optimize the ad spend and the ad return. It can be a good way to operate. It can also be an expensive way, and it takes a lot of clicks before the machine learning kicks in. Gareth, do you want to add to that?
Yeah,
we need to wrap up very shortly.
I was just going to put a link in the chat, which has a much better, longer explanation. But if we did this webinar 2-3 weeks ago, then we would have said probably the short answer was yes, the AI bot was given, rights to do what it wanted, and it took a lot of the controls away. At the end of Feb, they changed it. I've just linked to some more information there, and they brought back some of the controls. I would say that the Performance Max campaigns work really well if you give it enough rope, because it's got to learn. So AI, as with all things AI, it needs data to learn. So you need a reasonable sized budget, and you need to let the bot kind of give it enough rope to figure itself out. If you let it run long enough with enough rope, it does do quite well on its own over time. But most of our clients are usually smaller budgets with smaller businesses, and so you need to kind of make sure that you're not burning $10,000 in the bot just learning by putting ads in front of people that are irrelevant. So with the ability to now put negative keywords and change locations and so on, it is more manageable than it was, and there's more information on that link I've just put in. So, but yeah, in summary, Google does end up running your campaigns, but just remember that Google does kind of want you to keep paying them, so they somewhat have an interest in making it work. As with all things, test and measure. Pick the best option for you. You can mix and match. You can have some Performance Max, you can have some not Performance Max. So you just got to pick which one's best for you.
Yeah. Okay, that's a quick rip through about how to get improve ROI with Google Ads. If you want, and if you've got any further questions, we're very happy to help. The email address is Gareth@concise.digital, and myself, Richard, at concise.digital. The phone number's there. If you would like to have a free consultation, but really a kind of a review of what you've got. No obligation, we'll just tell you the facts and as we see it, and if you can improve things yourself or you can get help, whatever, then you're very welcome to add digitalmarketing3@concise.digital is one of the email addresses that ties in with our agency platform with Google, so that we can then look at your ads, into your ad admin, and then give you some feedback about things that are good or things that maybe could be improved. So happy to do that, and it would probably be Gareth who would actually do that, because so he knows he is the man. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for attending today. This has been, as I say, the Concise webinar. We are Concise Digital, and we are starting up, and we're running a few more webinars. We'll let you know more about the details of future webinars over the next few weeks. Thank you very much. Gareth, do you want to say anything to wrap up?
Bye.
Okay, good and concise. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Welcome.